which brings us to our second word. And our second word is to dissimulate. To dissimulate means to pretend. To act as though that we have something. It's a falsehood. And this is where we are most of the time. Yeah. That word, that 7th verse in 2 Timothy 3 talks about ever learning and never coming to the knowledge. And this is where we are, saints of God. We spend lots of time reading our word and sitting under proclaimed word, but we are dissimulating rather than assimilating. We want to act as though we're carrying the word with us. Think about last week we talked about how we go into situations and where there are strongholds in the atmosphere.
Yes, yes.
When we talked about using the word to fight through strongholds. And one of the things that dissimulation will cause you to do, it will cause you to go into atmospheres, but rather than being able to pull strongholds down, you add to the stronghold. You bring attitude to the atmosphere, yes, rather than bringing the word. Right. We bring some word and then we bring attitude. Right. And it won't mix. Either the word's got to do what the word's got to do, or you go in there with your attitude and do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. We do our church work. We do some word. And some we do it according to what we want to do. We keep doing things and we're asking God to sign off. There are things that God wants to assign us to do that we simply are failing in our assignment because we're doing it according to what we think God wants us to do rather than what he said do. Right. We can pretend that we don't understand God, but the truth of the matter is, yes, we do. Right. We know what God is saying to do. We know when God is calling us to come and do something, but our time is inconvenient for us. Yeah. What do? The word, we say that we love God. We say we obey him. But he says, if you love me, you'll obey me. And we prove to God all the time how much we don't love him by doing things our way. Right. We want God to love us enough to do stuff our way. We don't want to change and do it God's way, but we want God's stuff. Right. We got sense enough to know we ain't got nothing. We need to get it from God, but we want him to sign off on what we do. Right. That's dissimulation. So what happens is we show up at the church house every week, 2 or 3 times a week, and we pretend to have word in us. Mm-hmm. We are dancing on top of disobedience, and we know it. We're speaking in tongues on top of disobedience, and we know it. All right. We have that form of godliness. Mm-hmm. We got sense enough to know we wouldn't dare not sit under the word. We wouldn't dare not show up at the church house. But where is the power of the word? All right. It has to come through our obedience to the word. Yes. Even when the word seems to inconvenience us. Even when the word seems to make us look foolish. Even when the word is having us go and do things and we don't understand the word. Mm-hmm. But we understand that God says go. Mm-hmm. God says do. Yeah. Come on up in here, somebody. We love dissimulation. Mm-hmm. Because dissimulation, we can act like we doing the word. Yeah. Yeah. It's easy. It's easy to act the word rather than do the word. Right. And so, ladies and gentlemen, if we are going to receive the power from the word, if we are going to change our environments according to the word, if we're going to have our lives transformed due to the word, we have to work the word. We have to assimilate that word and let that word do the work it was sent to do. Yeah. God bless you. I'll see you next week.